Welcome to World Cup Report Worldwide, a podcast dedicated to worldwide events in the Blood Bowl community, with your hosts, Tim and Steve. Welcome to World Cup Report, Episode 5, Amorical Cup, Tier 4. We have too long of a title anymore. This is Steve, aka Kilowagi. With me, as always, Tim, the guy who's just now being exposed to the World Cup rules. Lions, how's it going?
Woo! Yeah, live on the we'll call it air.
Yeah, just like 5 minutes before we started recording, I was like, "Hey, have you seen these?" He's like, "No, I guess not."
Nah.
And apparently, you're saying that they have some type of rules put on the NAF that are completely different than these.
Well, I would say I did an internet search for these rules when you told me they existed, and the link that came up might be an April Fool's joke. I don't know because it looks like it. So I'm not taking this seriously.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know if everyone can access the rules or not. I did post them online. Someone said they were taken down, so maybe you can't access it unless you went to the actual Discord, whatever.
Yeah.
It's version 1. It should probably be version 0.5, like very
Sure.
beta.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of feedback. It's not great, but that's typical of your first pass.
And it's typical of kind of every pass. Do you remember the tournament where everyone told them how great the rules looked? Because I don't.
No, that's never happened in my life.
Right.
Except for Spiky Cup. Spiky Cup people tend to love until they play
Except for the people who hate it.
Yep, exactly.
But that's like polarizing. That's your best bet.
Right.
Half the people love it, half the people hate it.
I did speak to John Newton. I was like, hey, I hope you're not taking it too bad that, people are tearing apart the rules or whatever. And he's like, no, we're used to it after doing Euro Bowl. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you would.
Right. That's true.
But
they've been down this road.
We're not going to go over the rules. We thought about it, but it is, as I said, it's very first pass. There's going to be a lot of changes. There's no way they're not.
Right.
But without going into stuff too much, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess just their general concepts here, I assume, won't probably change. And it looks like they're planning to use a grid system, which you do see in a lot of tournaments these days, where teams can get different amounts of star player points, different amounts of money, and be different combinations of those two things.
So the gold budget goes from 1.05 to 1.2. So not a huge difference, but there's 7 layers of it.
Right.
And then star player points, 36, 44, 52, 58, 60, 66. Which, again, there's 6 of it. So a lot of different combinations. And
right.
Like you were saying, it feels way too soon to be doing this.
This is my concern with trying to make it a successful grid right now. I think it's hard to make successful tiers, let alone double tiering things. There's just so much going on, and nobody's really played these rules enough to do this well, is my concern. But
and I
mean, I could sure be proven wrong.
And they do want to get stuff out so people can test it and give feedback. Totally
Absolutely.
Get that. Don't.
And that's great. I appreciate that.
Exactly. Don't have any problem with that. However, there is the whole, you're giving different money values, different star player points. Some teams can not stack at all. Some teams can stack a maximum of 2 skills on 1 player. Some teams can stack a maximum of 2 skills on 2 players. Some teams can take a star player, but only like 5 teams can take a star player, which is one of the big things that I hope they take into heart and into consideration is I don't think star players should be banned, or any of them, and they have some that are banned. If someone wants to play a star, I always think of it like someone else mentioned on the Discord. This is the culmination of Blood Bowl as a game and as an experience. This should be open for everyone to play however they want. If there's a person who absolutely loves, what, Skorg? Is that his name?
Yeah. maybe that's your online handle, and
Yeah,
you cosplay as him, and
they
you
painted
go to
him really
World Cup.
well.
It's the big unveiling of your whole Skorg Snowpelt outfit, and you can't even play with him.
Right. He should be allowed.
I,
And if you don't want people to take him, make it to where if they take him, they don't get
right,
any star player points besides that.
right.
Perfectly
Your
fine.
team is terrible if you do it, but at least you can pick to do it then.
Yeah. To me, that's a better, more inclusive way of doing things.
Sure.
But
And it's in a team event like this, it's not like every team is ever going to have some unbalanced star because only one team per squad can.
yeah,
So that is a limiting factor as well in and of itself.
and
But
everybody gets a chance of taking it.
right, yeah, if he's so great you have to have him on every squad, maybe they will.
Like,
But
I think Huthark is
limited
amazing.
somehow.
You
Yeah,
know,
he's amazing. I mean, a score great example. He
yeah,
seems ridiculous in these rules. So good. He's banned in like every tournament that I see. Or he's so many star player points that
right.
he's virtually banned.
Which I'm fine with. But,
I get it. It's fine. Whatever.
anyways, yeah, as we don't want to go into it too deep.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a lot of other little stuff. And again, if you want to know, if you want to see more, go on to the Discord. You can see
Mhm.
everything there. Once
Yeah,
they
early
get,
version, don't give them too hard a time. But if
yeah,
you have feedback, give them positively phrased feedback, even if it's about a thing you don't like.
well, I was telling someone else this because they had issues with it. I'm like, let them know, but tell them what you don't like and why you don't like it. Don't just say
Right.
this is shit. Like,
Yes, that
I
doesn't
hate
help
it.
anything. Now
No,
you just look like a jerk.
right. Okay, well, you think that. Why do you think that? I don't know. Just do. Not helping.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into Amorical Cup since we ranted about that too much.
That's right.
We are now at Tier 4, which is two squad points,
Hmm.
which I also would like the World Cup to do squad points, but that's
Well, don't do squad paints and this complicated grid, please.
well, might as well just do that, and then every star player is a different amount, like
Yeah,
Spike
perfect.
does. Just have it complication upon complication. I don't have to review the rosters, so
It's true. Just bespoke rule set where each team has its own page.
right there you go. Two squad points, 1.18 for the roster budget, 8 skill points, 1 max stack. This is Elven Union, Dwarf, Human, Skaven, and Salon.
Yeah, I think some real interesting ones in here. A lot of teams people think were really hurt by the new rules that used to be higher tier here.
So that's the first one we're going to talk about. Is Elven Union, and I've heard
Hmm.
your guys' take on it on 3 Die Block, and basically saying it's unplayable now.
Okay, but not in these rules. I
Okay,
just think the roster is one of the worst rosters. Like, I wouldn't play it. I'd play a different elf team. I don't think they got anything good. Fumblerooski, worthless.
well,
They
yeah,
lost catchers. Their big advantage of having cheaper linemen went away. Like, they have the same price linemen. They went up. So I don't
yeah.
see anything good that happened for them.
I love
But
the Blitzers,
yeah,
and
they're
I love
great still.
Jordell. Like
Yeah,
that's all.
yes,
That's what I took to the first World Cup I ever went to.
sure.
And if I didn't have 3 people quit on me, I could have had the most touchdowns.
Yeah,
Because even if they would have just given me one more touchdown because they quit, which I think in the World Cup rules, the one that just said if you quit, you'd be given a 3-0 victory with
oh
3-0
man.
casualty.
Oof.
Or there might be something else I read. But if they did that, I would have had the most touchdowns at World Cup.
Yeah, very exciting.
Never going to happen again. But that's how I love to play Elven Union. It is a
Sure.
much different team now, so that everybody can't just pass on 2. I get that.
Yeah.
And like you said, the catchers being lessened, everything more expensive. I get it. They're not as good.
Right.
So what type of roster are you looking at?
So one nice thing here, they are the lowest tiered elf team, and that helps make up for a lot of these failings. They get more gold to make up for the players being more expensive. They get more skills to make up, hopefully, for having less positionals, in theory.
Yeah, they're
So
actually the next elf team is on tier 2. So
right. So they're quite, I mean, in a way, they might be the best elf team in this tournament, possibly. Just you get a lot to play them.
makes sense.
I pretty much just took every player, 13 or only one thrower, but 13 total players, 3 rerolls. I don't have an apothecary here. You could sure do one instead of a lineman. And kind of all the usual suspects on skills, dodge blitzers. I took a dodge catcher and a wrestle catcher, leader thrower, more rerolls, always fine on elf team. And then I kind of just took some wrestles and dodge on some linemen. You could stack some skills. I guess it's showing in my roster builds for this that I don't apparently like to stack skills when it costs a whole skill.
Oh, I
Like,
don't disagree with you on that at all.
I don't want to give up, 2 lineman skills so that my blitzer can be dodge tackle, I guess.
No.
I'd rather have a dodge lineman and a tackle lineman and a wrestle lineman for that. I don't know.
It's kind of weird because I'm with you on the thought behind the leader, and
Hmm.
in the past, always it would take leader because it's a free reroll. It's
Right.
awesome. I really like on the ball,
Sure.
like because
Yeah.
especially with the one thrower back there,
Hmm.
is no matter where it goes, because if you go up against a Skaven team that has kick, they're going to try to screw you.
Hmm.
But you can get to the ball pretty much wherever you are, and not have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, I mean that sure makes a lot of sense, and it's probably that you've played more tournament Elven Union than me, and you've had those experiences. The thrower is slow,
Hmm.
and you have less fast players on this team now. So
Yeah,
having a skill like that helps you cover the backfield is sure good. I would not take, say, a sure hands or anything. Sure
no.
hands, I'm not that keen on now that you can secure the ball
Well, I mean,
on most teams.
definitely don't need that for elves, but yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a 2 anyway. I guess secure the ball doesn't really matter for them, but
I actually used that skill in the last tournament I played using gnomes because the ball was 5 away from me anyways, and I had no rerolls, so why not?
yeah, sure, yeah.
I think I still rolled like a 5, but it was the thought.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think they would be fine. You could play them as a elf player. You're getting the extra skills, so if you wanted to make a like super catcher or super blitzer, you could,
mhm,
and it'd be fine.
put a jump or a leap on a catcher
Sure.
on a
Uh,
blitzer.
I think it was actually high elves, but I one time I played one of those elves, either high elves or pro elves in Gen Con Bowl, and I did that. I had a leap blitzer, I think, and it actually helped me win a game against a really good player. So
Yeah, it's like a mini Jordell.
it's like a sort of War Dancer, sort of Jordell.
Hmm. Next up, we have Dwarf, which is going to be a polarizing team because of how much they have definitely been hurt by the new
Yes.
rules.
Yeah, they sure have. And I mean, but hurt in what way? Mostly they're hurt by the fact that their players got more expensive,
Hmm.
but they're in a low tier here, so they get a lot of money. And their linemen can no longer take strength skills, which is real difficult for them. They need a lot of guard. But you have extra skills here, so you can take more guard. I mean, you can get up to the 4 guard you're allowed pretty easily if you want.
And really, I don't know if you need the guard. I think everyone's just used to having it.
Sure, you could do other things, certainly.
Death
But
roller.
with all that defensive now, it'd be really cool to have a lot of guard if you could.
Yeah.
And I think you can. I mean, you can build a pretty normal in the past tier 1 dwarf looking dwarf team with these rules without a problem in my mind. You don't have the tackle on all your linemen. You only
Hmm.
have 2 now. So obviously that's a negative, and you only have 2 AG3 players, so I do like to take both runners now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You almost have
But
to.
yeah, I mean, I don't like playing dwarves because I don't like teams that are this slow, I guess. But I don't know. I think that the roster for them in this looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can't do slow and trudging. I can't just take the ball down the field. I like to throw. I like to turn back, you know, cut across the field,
Hmm.
do risky stuff because that's
Right.
fun to me.
Yes, I
Dwarves
like
are.
to be able to make some dynamic plays, and that
It's not
is not a
dwarves
dwarf move most of the time.
unless you put leap on the doom roller or
There
death
you
roller.
go. We used to have a local coach who always would play throwing dwarves, name them Death from Above, and make all these passing skills.
Nice.
So, but and you can fit in all your roster, basically 12 players, 2 of all the skills. I don't have a Death Roller on here.
No.
Um, you can guard both blitzers, of course. You can then guard 2 blockers, which on top of their defensive makes those guys very good,
Yeah,
using up
definitely.
your 2 extra skill points. And then you have 2 left, and you can block a runner or block 2 runners or do on the ball like you said, or mighty blow a troll slayer. Whatever thing you like to do with your other dwarven skills, and you still get 3 rerolls. I mean, this is like what dwarf teams always used to look like, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Oh, and you can still fit in a team mascot doing this too, so you get
Jeez.
like 3.5 rerolls.
See, and then if you just trust your armor, you get rid of 1 lineman and you take a bribe.
Sure, yeah, you can get bribes easily now. I mean, they're cheap.
It seems dumb, but you could.
Yeah.
Next up, we got human, which I don't feel should be this low
Right.
because it's a good team.
Especially if you have star access.
Yeah, and especially now with more.
Hmm.
I mean, that the pro on the blitzer. I mean, typically you're going to put that on the blitzer, in my opinion.
Sure, you would
And
think.
and then team captain possibly letting you keep rerolls.
Hmm.
It's just a good team.
Very nice, yeah. And I mean, in a lot of times in tournaments in the past, the fact that the blitzers are cut down here doesn't burn you as much because you end up playing a team that was like 4 blitzers and a thrower, and that's it, or
Mm-hmm.
and an ogre maybe. And that if you're taking the 3-string catchers with putting block on them, that's sort of what you have.
They're so good, so fast.
Yeah. And I
I.
mean, and you have that tackle in there to deal with those teams. Inherently, you don't have to pick it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love humans. They're always one of my favorite teams, and I think they'd be great in this tournament. It's probably what I should play.
I think we'll see a lot of them because
I do too.
at that many squad points and that
Hmm.
much money, I mean, you've on your roster, how many people did you have? 13?
So I took a star player, and
Oh.
I still have 14 players
Oh, geez.
because I have 2 halflings. But
Fair.
I don't mind having halflings as players. 12 and or 13 and 14. Think of foul with them
You can also throw them.
or throw them.
When I
Yeah.
was at Water Bowl, I did that a couple times, and my opponent did it to me.
Hmm.
Pissed me off because I told if he got had it,
Yeah.
he was not playing with regular figures, and it confused me.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, what star?
I mean, I could go down a player and go up a reroll. I only have 2, but I
That's
guess
true.
I'm counting on maybe team captain and the fact that the thrower has all the built-in skills you need. And I mean,
Yeah,
I
thrower
don't
has
feel like this
built-in
is a team that
skills.
uses a lot of rerolls.
Your catcher has built-in skills.
Yes,
I mean, there's no reason you need a lot of rerolls except for hitting.
right. Yeah, it's just for those critical plays where you're trying something that's extra difficult or you get unlucky, basically.
Yeah. So what star did you take?
So on I have an ogre and then 2 blitzers, 2 catchers, a thrower. I do have the 2 halflings, like I said. I have written down having Mighty Zug because I do like having kind of 2 5-strength guys
Yeah.
backing up this team. I think it makes it really powerful. But this could be Ivar easily, in that exact same spot, and that would be fine too.
A lot of variety.
Yeah, but I like him a lot. But you have the 2 tackle already, and that's one of the best things he brings to the table. So
Yeah.
I kind of went away from it. The biggest question for me is like, do I want a block ogre or do I want, say, a guard ogre and maybe a guard blitzer out of the deal? That's probably better, especially if I'm taking Zug, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so. Because it's just easier to move him around and do what he needs to do. People are going
Sure.
to hit you more, but that's not
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Because if they're, teaming up on him to take him down, that's 2 or 3 people they devoted to him.
Hmm.
Go for it.
And I'd worry if I have this block ogre that I would try and make blocks with him too much. If he's a guard ogre, then I won't.
That is 100% true. And that was one of my downfalls in England.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to trust people. Like, you have the skill. Obviously, I should be able to dodge, right? No.
No way.
That's not how it works. It just means that you get to fail again.
That's right. Yeah, you get to enjoy that twice.
Next up, we have Skaven. Again, very low for what they are, I think.
Potentially. I mean, I do think they got hurt by the rules change to me more than humans.
Oh, for sure, more than humans. I don't think
So,
humans got hurt hardly at all.
way more than orcs. I think they are certainly worse now and just not differentiated enough from Underworld for me, but
Guess
I
can
still
see
think
that.
good at this low of a tier anyway.
Yeah. So how would you
I
make
mean,
a team?
So for me, like Skaven, all about gutter runners. That's why I want to play Skaven. They're just amazing, and you can only have two now, so that's tough. Um, I would like to probably break tackle a blitzer so I can sort of make up for that strip ball gutter runner I always used to take.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of covers that role pretty well then. I have the Rat Ogre, of course, just because he's so good to help you one turn.
Oh, for sure.
I did put in Skitter because I want to have at least three gutter runners. Two is not enough for me, I don't feel. Um, you can go a lot of ways with this. I have a thrower on here too, and the two blitzers and two gutters. My roster amount is probably not as high as I would like. I have 12 players and an apothecary, but that still only lets you fit two rerolls and a team mascot. So
Yeah.
I do have a leader thrower, so you're getting kind of 3.5 rerolls, which is fine. It might be better
good.
to have the lineman than the apoth. I don't know.
No, I think the Apoth is better because you can keep important people.
Right.
And at the end, even early, there are times like you get that couple of knockouts immediately, and then they go and knock out another guy. Like, I can't do this. I need to keep him on the pitch.
Right. Yeah. For me, if I'm low on players like this, having only 12 on a team that gets hurt a lot, I will almost assuredly use the Apoth on the first knockout because it definitely will work. Especially, I will for sure do it if it is an alignment.
Yeah, that is very much the way that I've seen it used before to a good extent. Because if you just wait until a good person gets, casualtied, it may not even work then.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's no guarantee it will. Whereas with the knockout, it absolutely will bring them back. Yep. Maybe they would have come back anyway, but you'll never know.
Exactly.
You don't have to know.
We've all had people who get knocked out this first, second turn and stay gone for the whole game. Right.
And that might as well be a casualty.
Absolutely.
So, but I think they're playable and a good team. I mean, they would, if you love Skaven, I think you can play them in this tournament. They're tiered low enough, they'll still be good, in my opinion.
I think so. And then the final one for this tier is Slann.
Yeah, so weirdly, I actually have played Slann with these rules.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, one of our local tournaments, we ran these rules, and I had to fill in, so I played 2 games of Slann with it, because I needed that to finish out my last team I hadn't played.
Oh, nice. You do have to get 3 games in, though, for it to count.
I had 1 already.
Oh, okay.
From a different fill-in tournament. So I was at 1, and so now I have 3. I think you can do a lot with Slann, and people who are good with Slann, I think will do well in this tournament. And they did get changed. The Rat and Af made up additional rules for them to kind of change them the way that some of the other teams have been changed with the new rules.
I'll just
you only get the 2 catchers, but
I'll just say I still hate them. I played against them last weekend.
Yep.
And you just can't stop them.
Yeah,
They're
right.
leaping around, especially with the catchers.
Yes.
Like, I hit them multiple times. I couldn't break them. So all that means is they just hop up, hop away. And I'm just sitting there going, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. If you can't kill these catchers, they're arguably more unstoppable than a gutter runner is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're slower, but...
Yeah, but with Pogo Stick, you can't even put
that
someone
makes them
on
faster
them.
Sometimes.
It's like, well, I'm just going to jump away from you, and I only need a 2 to land, because forget the minuses. They don't matter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But usually if Slann's tiered low in a tournament and you're competent, like you're a good Slann player, they can be a great team.
I think so too. I mean, I think that's a sleeper team. I think that, like you said, you're not going to see your regular person take it. It's going to be taken by someone who's really good at them.
Right. I don't think there'll be a lot of Slann. And I wouldn't be surprised if the specific win rate for Slann's pretty good, because only people who know what they're doing will pick them, probably, for the most part.
That's why I always thought the win rate for orcs and humans were lower than actually was.
You'd have to think, right?
Because that's people's first teams. They come in the box,
team
you
with
play
the game.
them. Yeah.
Right. I think that's partly like High Elves often would have a low play rate and moderately high win rate, more than you'd think back in the day.
So
I think these guys can kind of get everything you want.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be a lot of times they would take 3 catchers and all linemen. That was pretty much the fairly standard build in tournaments most of the time.
3 catchers and a blitzer.
I actually took 2 blitzers just because I don't know. I felt like I had the extra money. I mean, I don't have to, and maybe that is a mistake. Like, it might be better to just take 2 and a blitzer. But usually there's a guard catcher, and then you can guard that blitzer. To me, is not bad. They don't leap as well. It's for a 3, but they're
still,
3 strength too, and it's not a secondary skill. So
exactly. And I the diving tackle alone can just be worth it.
yeah,
And jump up, I hate him so much.
and I mean they have what, hit and run now too, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was annoying. So
Yep. And the catchers just come with on the ball,
yeah,
I think, right?
they do.
Which is sweet.
So you
So
just put him in the backfield, and wherever the ball goes, like, oh,
yeah,
okay, well, I'm going to go there too,
if you have 2 of them, and you can cover the entire backfield with on the ball and diving catch pretty much 100%. I think you can get to every square, I believe.
which is just ridiculous.
Now, but
But
you can, take 13 players and 4 or 5 rerolls and a team mascot easily, even if you're taking 2 catchers and 2 blitzers. So, I mean, that doesn't have a Croxiger, but I guess to me, the only thing the Croxiger really brings to this team is being able to stand on the line.
yeah, I don't think he's needed, honestly. I mean, he's nice, but again, you fall into the trap of I need to put a double skill on him to keep
Yeah.
him, give him block, or I'm going to be taking him instead of some extra linemen.
Right.
Okay.
Or extra rerolls.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you got a big guy. You're going to want to hit with him because he's a big guy. That can screw you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what doesn't screw? A lineman just standing there and getting hit.
Yeah, definitely.
They might die, but that's their job.
Yeah.
And then you just leap over everybody and score because that's what you can do.
Yep. I mean, if you can roll well enough with this team, they're virtually impossible to stop.
Right.
Obviously, I took wrestle and strip ball. I dodged both catchers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just put my guard on this blitzer instead, which I don't know. He's not as good at leaping in, and that's the role you're going to have to make first. So
Yeah, but still a 66% chance.
yes, right.
I mean-
I could go down to, I guess, only one blitzer and lose this team mascot and just have that be an extra full reroll. But team mascot is like such a value. I
Yeah,
don't know.
absolutely.
It's hard to pass up.
I think it's better to. One of the things that I was not taught, but one of the pieces of advice I always liked, put your value on the pitch.
Right.
Because if your
Yes.
value is sitting on the sidelines, you're not getting the worth of it.
Right.
Now, obviously,
Exactly.
rerolls don't count for that, but having a better positional versus a possibly, I mean, obviously a reroll that works versus possibly doesn't, I'd rather have the money on the pitch.
Yeah. And this team really ends up not doing that a lot. They have lots of rerolls and they have reserves. And so,
Yeah, of course. And you kind of have to.
Yep. I mean, if you wanted all your money on the pitch, you should take the Croxiger.
Well, that's true, but
And you could easily do it. You could have, lose the apothecary and the mascot and take one. No problem.
I don't even know what stars they
I guess that
could.
doesn't quite work.
Are there any stars that would be good for them? Because I don't even remember what they can take.
All right, that's a tough question. Part of the problem is just most of the stars, like the star you really want for Lustrian, you can't take, which is Dribble and Drool.
Oh,
so, or Estelle, who's also awesome. So I guess I don't know who am I going to take. I don't want like an extra Croxiger. I don't even have the regular Croxiger.
Right.
And that's pretty much what Mighty Zug is anyway, too. Maybe he's not Lustrian anymore. That's last edition.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I just don't think there's a star I want. I don't want that snake guy. This is the last team that needs Hypno Gaze, I guess.
True.
It seems like you could just get around that with your skills you have.
Mm-hmm. You can still get away from people.
I mean, you could arguably take a keg.
Yeah.
This team's gonna get injured and knocked out. Like, I don't know. I'm not a statistician to compare whether the apothecary or the keg is better.
As you said,
But to me, I would just take
apothecary
the apothecary.
automatically works on a KO.
Right.
So,
Once.
Right. But, how many times are you going to re-roll? Well, how many times are you going to roll for knockouts?
Right. Yeah. With this team, maybe a lot.
It could
But
be a
maybe
lot.
you just get injured.
Yeah.
And then that couldn't do anything. So,
Hey, so out of these, if you had to take one,
Mhm.
which one are you taking? I would guess human.
so I would say I think dwarves look the best, but yeah, I would take humans. I love humans. They've always been near the top of my favorite teams. I
They're-
do like Skaven a lot too, but I just
Yeah.
think they're lot worse than these rules, even though they're playable.
Yeah,
What about for you, Steve?
I would say humans, but I did take them to Water Bowl and did very poorly with them.
Yeah.
So probably Skaven.
Okay.
Because I think, honestly, I know they lost 2 gutter runners. I didn't always play with 4 gutter runners anyways, because it's just not how I have to play. And the
Right.
blitzers having the extra movement and strip ball and everything, they're just so good now.
Yeah. For the people who didn't always take 4 gutter runners and focus on that style of play,
Yeah.
Skaven are arguably better now.
And I think that's how I am. So I haven't played them under the new rules, but that would be the one that I'd be most looking forward to playing.
Sure.
Even as much as I love Elven Union,
Yeah, I thought that's what you were going to say for sure.
I'm the American coach that's played the most Elven Union in tournaments
Oh,
because
well, look at that.
I took them for that year leading up to World Cup, and then of
Right.
course 9 games at World Cup helps.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need to. Like, I've played them a lot, and I do
Sure.
love them, but I would probably take Skaven.
Yeah, I know. I actually think any of these teams are playable and wouldn't be a bad member of a squad. Honestly, a squad of 4 of these teams I think could do okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
Human, Skaven, Slan, and Dwarf.
yeah, any of them, honestly.
Yeah.
You play Slan with Elf Union, they get enough skills and enough money here. I like you said on our other podcast, we rip on Elven Union all the time and make fun of it, but this is different. I mean, they're getting a lot more than any other elf team, and
Yeah.
that gets them to where those teams are almost.
It's a big difference.
Right.
Okay. Well, next time we will be back with Tier 3, which gives us Chaos Dwarf, Nobility, Necro, Tomb Kings, Underworld.
Yeah. Some
You already
exciting
know,
ones.
you already know which team I would take,
Yeah,
because I'll be taking it anyways.
that's right.
Anything else we want to talk about before we go?
Well, I did realize I very much messed up my Snotling build from when we did that episode.
Oh,
I had
yeah?
a bunch of things wrong from the old rules in my list that I made it off of. So
Oh.
I did play it in a practice game, and it just crushed my opponent. But no surprise because it was over by like 30K. So I had to rework that a little bit.
That does help.
Yeah, right.
But Snotlings are really good.
I think they're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just especially with the extra money, extra skills.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 4 or 5 strength people with no loner.
Right.
Rock on.
And more if you want.
Yeah. Put Ripper on there and just be like,
Sure.
okay, come and get me. All right. Well, I think that'll be it. Why don't you go ahead and take us out?
Oh, well, look forward to seeing everybody at the Amorical Cup and the World Cup
Bum, bum, bum.
next year.
Thank you for listening to World Cup Report Worldwide. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/WC Report BB. You can email us at worldcupreportworldwide@gmail.com or at worldcupreportbb@gmail.com.